Hey everybody, welcome. Andrew Ainsworth Golf Academy. As always, very warm welcome. Thanks for watching the video today. Finally, I'm going to post my review on the new Ping G410 driver. Now, I always seem to be last to the party with these reviews. There's good reasons and bad reasons for that. A, I don't get the product ahead of the launch date, so I have to be patient and wait for the product to arrive in demo form, which it has done. Saying that, it did arrive last week, but for reasons I won't bore you with, I haven't had a chance to do a review. So here we go, let's save the best to last or something like that. Ping G410 driver, hotly anticipated. Obviously the replacement to the G400, which from my experience was certainly the biggest selling Ping driver I've ever seen. And I think the most successful. I think it was a cracking driver. We had the 4 different heads to choose from. Just right up until this came out, it was still selling amazingly well. Price point in the UK stayed around about the 349 mark from the start date to when it was finishing, really. And it's still in the range. It's still available, which is something we might touch on a bit later. Anyway, Ping relaunched the G410. I've already done a full tech review. Oh, by the way, if you hear any background noise going on, there's some construction going on at the front of the building. You might hear the odd sort of rumbling noise and wonder what it is. It's a digger or something. So, well, hopefully it won't get picked up too much, but that's what it is. Anyway, I move on. What was I saying? Yeah, Ping G410 driver, full tech review. I'll post a link up here and I'll post an end card at the end of the video where I talk all about the tech specs. I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm just going to give you a quick snapshot really on the big changes between G410 and G400. I think the biggest thing that we see straight away is the first time, I'll give you some close-ups on this as well, it's the first time that we see Ping going down the movable weight route. We haven't seen this before with Ping because they've never felt like they've really got the engineering where they want it for it to make a difference. Now, this is where I play the devil's advocate or just plain skeptical, whichever angle you want to come at it. I've got this theory that this is a 12 gram weight in here. On the website it says 16 grams, but I took this one out. And basically you unscrew it, and it can either go in here for a draw setting or it can go in here for a fade setting. So we can move 12 grams of weight around. Now, if you're the sort of golfer who suffers with a massive slice, you come at the ball sort of 5, 6, 7 degrees from out to in with the club face way open to that path, 12 grams of weight shoved into the heel of the club ain't going to make any difference to what happens to your golf ball. Or if it does make a difference, it's very minimal. That means you've got to get your swing fixed. If you're the sort of golfer who starts the ball on target and then fades it off and maybe moves the ball 10 yards to the right, then would weight in the heel counteract that? Possibly. I've got a couple of people lined up at some stage in the future who are going to test that theory for us. So again, we'll come back to that. So I'm not 100% sure that movable weight makes a huge amount of difference. What's really interesting is when I'm teaching people or fitting people, I say to them, how's your driver set up? And they'll say, oh, the way it was when I bought it. So what I'd be really interested for people who are watching this video who have adjustable drivers, be it for loft or for moving weight around, since you bought that driver, have you fiddled around with the setup of the driver, or have you just left it set at like 10.5 degrees with the weight in a neutral position? Because if you excuse me, bit of a cold. If that's the case, then there isn't a counter argument to say, what's the point of having adjustable drivers if you're not going to fiddle around with it or try and change the setup? You might as well just have something that's fixed. What do you think? Just putting it out there, not saying it's right or wrong. I just like to try and create discussions, as you know. So movable weights, we've also got more adjustability in loft. The G410 Plus, there is an SF Tech version, which we'll do a separate video on. Comes in 9, a 10.5 and a 12 degree loft. Now the difference here with the sleeve settings, we've got 8 different settings Before, you could move the driver up and down 0.6 of a degree or a full degree. Now we can go 1 degree or 1.5 degrees. So 10.5 degree driver can go down to 9, it can go up to 12. 12 degree driver can go up to 13.5, it can come down to 10.5. So it gives fitters a little bit more adjustability in tuning the loft to suit the golfer. And then again, we come back to the argument that once you've set the loft, do you leave it there? There we go. So those are the two biggies. Third thing just to say is that they've definitely offered us more shaft options. We'll post some pictures down here. We've got the new Alta CB shaft is the stock shaft. We've still got the Tour 65 shaft and 75 shaft, which is a slightly reduced torque, plays a little bit stiffer, slightly lower ball flight. We've got the a shaft called, let me just grab it. It is called, if I can get my hands on it, the Alta Distenza. It's a 40-gram shaft. So for the golfer out there who's looking for a potential little bit more club speed, that could definitely work. And then there's two upmarket shafts, which last year in the G400, there was an upcharge for of about 50, 60, 70 pounds. Not anymore. We have got the Mitsubishi Chemical, which is the real deal shaft. It's the Tensai Orange CK series in a 60 gram. That comes in various flexes. No upcharge for that one. It's a mid-flighting shaft. And then for the guy who wants to, or the girl, who wants to get a slightly lower spinning, lower launching driver, we've got the Project X Even Flow, again coming in stiff and extra stiff. No extra charge, which is amazing. So well done, Ping, for bringing that in. So enough of my waffle. What remains to be seen next is to get into the hitting area and see how this G410 performs. Let's go hit a few, shall we? Okay, everybody, over in the hitting area, time to put the G410 through its paces. I've got fitted to this the standard Alta CB 55 gram shaft in stiff. Excuse me, I'm just reading off the wall chart here where it goes. It sits really right in the middle for trajectory and stiffness. It's a shaft, it's a slightly counterbalanced shaft. It's 45 3/4 inches long. And I think it's a shaft that's been designed to fit quite a wide remit of golfers. You know, we've got the other specialized shafts if you want to do certain things, but this will take care of a lot of golfers' handicaps and abilities. I'm going to be aiming to swing this at around about the 100 mile an hour. Remember, I've only got the basic GC2 without the HMT head measurement technology. So you'll have to be guided by me as to where I strike this. I'll tell you if it was a good strike or a bad strike, if it was high or low. Underdoes club speed by, we reckon, about 3 miles an hour. So if it comes in about 100, the real club speed is probably closer to about 103. We'll keep an eye on that for you. We're going to look at I'm going to hit a couple of shots, flash the numbers up for you, talk about it, and then what I'm going to do is just hit maybe 10, 12 shots. I'll speed the sequence up, and then I'll see what the numbers are over a sort of a longer test. So that's what we're going to do. I've got Titleist Pro V1 golf balls down on the deck. Let's get in there and hit a few. As I say, it's 10.5 at the moment, and it's set to neutral. So I have had a little warm up. So I'm not trying to hit these from cold. So yeah, let's go. Not bad. Strike location on that was, I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but it was right there. So slightly high toey, but not bad for an old man. Should we go in and have a look at that? So not fully warmed up yet. So club speed just coming in just around about the 100 mile an hour mark. Launching at 14.5 degrees, which is great. Spinning at 2,000 revs per minute, which is even better. Sorry, actual backspin rate's 1924. And a carry distance of 245, 17 yards left of target. Gonna hit fairway, isn't it? We'll take that. I'd take that off the first tee. Any day of the week. Let's go again. So I could play around with my natural shot shape's a draw. So what might be interesting at some stage is to, maybe on another video, move the weights into the fade setting, and just to try and counteract that tendency to hit the draw. Let's go again. Strike location on that one, a little bit more central, kind of here. Maybe a fraction low in the face, if I'm being critical. And we like to be critical of me. Yeah, so don't think it quite far in the middle of the club. Ooh, nearly dropped that. The spin rate tends to reflect that. Spin rate has jumped. You can see how strike location really does affect the numbers. I mean, that's just jumped up nearly 1,000 revs of spin there to 29.58. I've only lost 10 yards of distance and I've hit it nice and straight. So yeah, that wasn't quite in the prime strike location, but result is pretty good. Let's go one more for you. What am I going to try and do here? I'm going to try and find the middle of the club would be a good thing. Well, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's a pretty good strike location there. Oh, there's a green down there. Forgot I put a green down there. You're going to have to ignore total run out here because it's just pitched near the green and now it's running out over the fast surface. So this may indicate what would happen in very dry conditions, but it's the carry distance we're looking for. Again, hovering around GC2 say 98, that's probably closer to 100, 101. Slightly higher launch, 15.6 launch that one, spinning at 2490, giving me a carry distance of 243. Let me go in, hit maybe another 7 shots. I won't bore you watching it, I'll speed it all up, and then we'll see what these averages are. So talk amongst yourselves while I just speed things up a little bit here. Okay, I've hit quite a number of shots there. How many have I hit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drives. There was a couple of howlers in there where I just completely snap hooked them and missed the fairway by like 4 years. Wasn't fair to leave those in because it was just, there were such bad shots, they were corrupting the data. So I've left majority of them in. I'd say a couple there which may or may not hit fairway, but I just wanted to give you an idea. Club speeds, as you can see, stayed fairly constant, started to get up a little bit, 102, but we averaged just under 100 miles an hour club speed. I wasn't swinging flat out this morning, but 100 miles an hour, which I suppose translates more to like 102, 103 in real numbers. Average launch angle there was just under 13. Average spin varied tremendously. That was more down to strike. I did find this quite a high spinning driver, probably more to do with the shaft. So this is the stock shaft. It's not the shaft I would choose if I was fitting for myself, but I just wanted to give you a sort of a basic idea of how it works. So the average backspin rate here was spinning at 2.7. Again, there was some good and bad strikes. My longest carry was a 2.44 and my shortest was a 2.31. So I'm averaging there 2.39, 240 yards. Pretty straight. I use the 20-yard rule here. Anything 20 yards right or left of centre should normally pick up fairway stroke first cut. I lost 1 shot to the right, more likely to lose it to the left. That's my bias, if you like. So there we go. Let's give you people out there a really honest opinion of this driver. What do I think of it? I think it's good. I think Ping do not make bad drivers. My question here is how much better is it than G400, or is it any better than G400? Gut honest feeling is I think adding, if you are the sort of golfer who likes to tinker, play around with the weight settings, move the draw, fade bias, add some loft, take some loft off, then definitely Ping have made a step forward in that regard. If you're the golfer who just buys a driver and leaves it set, then to me there's not a lot of point in having this extra adjustability. You might as well have something with less movability on it. I know for a fact if I put my G400 down, and we will do this test at some stage, and compared like for like, I wouldn't see any change in numbers here whatsoever for me. There has been an increase in price. This is retailing in the UK. I will be selling this for £399. I was selling the G400 at sort of 339, 349. So we're looking at an extra £50. I understand why that might be. There's more technology. I guess the process of making this club is more expensive. 399 for me, I think is a lot of money. I think that for some people that's out of reach. And I know you can say, well, Callaway and TaylorMade and Titleist and all these other companies are more expensive, 449. I get that, but for £400 for a driver, it's got to be doing something pretty special, isn't it? And I'm not sure that this is special enough to justify that price tag. If you're using a G400. Now, let me reverse that round. If you're the golfer who's got a Ping G20 or a G25 or a G30 or maybe even a G, are you going to see gains and increases in performance with this driver? I'm pretty sure you would. But if a customer of mine walks in today and says, I've got the G400 you sold me last August and I want to change to G410, I would say, okay, let's have a go. But I'd be slightly dubious if we'd see an increase in the numbers. That remains to be seen. So there we go. It's a good driver. I'm not by any means being negative about it. As always, I'm just being honest about it. Here's another thing to leave you with. We talked about moving lofts and weights around and how many golfers just leave it fixed. Do you not think that some of these manufacturers are missing a trick here? Yes, I get the idea of adjustability, and I know they've got to offer that. But how about someone like Ping built another G410, which was a fixed head? You bought it in either a 9, a 10.5 or a 12, no adjustable sleeve, no weights. You could have a draw bias one, the SF Tech, yeah, but just a standard driver, good shaft in there, without all the bells and whistles and movability. That's going to reduce the bottom line on price. I'm pretty sure you could be retailing that driver then at under £300. 279 would be a great price point to sell a driver at. And how much extra does all this adjustability give the average golfer? I'll leave that one with you. So there we go. It's the Ping G410. Well done, Ping. It's a great looking driver. It certainly has grabbed a lot of attention. Yeah, it's a fantastic driver. Go and try it by all means. Go and get fitted. Some great fitting options. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm working towards 7,000 subscribers here, and that's my next target, and I can only do that with your help. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, just click on that button. Helps grow my influence. And if you think the video is any good, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget, need some comments back on this one, everybody. I need your feedback about this adjustability and these other issues we've discussed. That's it. I'm gone. I'm out of here. Bye for now.